Hey, what's up guys? MLT Magic Tricks here. So in today's video, I'm going to be performing and then teaching you this card trick that has a really awesome visual effect and it will definitely fool all of your spectators. So I highly recommend you stick around to learn this one. But really quickly, before we get into this performance, I just want to announce a new $100 Amazon gift card giveaway in honor of reaching 250,000 subscribers. So I'm giving away 10 $10 Amazon gift cards, and all you need to do in order to enter is be subscribed to the channel with those post notifications on, leave a like on this video, and comment something you like about this video or my channel in the comment section below, and I will be announcing the 10 winners in a video at the end of the month, so make sure you guys do enter that. And now let's get straight into the performance of this card trick. Okay, so I'm going to start off this trick by giving the deck a quick riffle shuffle, just mixing up the cards. Now from here, I would have my spectator make a selection, so let's say they choose this card. Now for this trick, I do not want to look at the card, so I'm just going to be showing you. I promise I'm not looking at it, so make sure you memorize your selection. Now we're going to go ahead and get your card lost somewhere into the middle of the pack here. We'll go ahead and give the cards some cuts as well. We'll give the deck a quick riffle shuffle to really lose your selection into the middle of the pack. Now guys, at this point, I don't know where your card is in the deck, nor do I know what your selection actually is. So I am going to need the assistance of a helper card in finding my spectator selection. And my spectator is actually going to choose this helper card. So let's say they call stop anywhere as a riffle down the side. Let's say they call stop right here. We'll go ahead and lift up from where my spectator called stop. And the king of spades will go ahead and be our helper card. So we're going to go ahead and mix up the deck just a little bit more here. Give the deck a quick riffle shuffle as well, just to really lose your selection into the middle of the pack one final time. So guys, like I mentioned, the king of spades is actually going to help me find my spectator selection because at the start of the trick, I did not see what my spectator's card actually was. So we're going to go ahead and take the king of spades, and the king is actually going to find my spectator's card in a little bit of an unusual way, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the king of spades, I'm going to go ahead and toss it through the portal of the deck one time. As you will see, nothing really happens, but if I take it one more time, toss it through again, the king of spades turns into your selection, the eight of spades, out of thin air, just like that, guys, and this should be your selection. So that is the card trick. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and if you guys want to learn how to do it, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that performance, and credit to Fernando P1 for this effect, and now let's get straight into the tutorial for this card trick. So I would classify this as an intermediate level card trick because there are some moves that are probably going to take some practice before you go out and perform it to your spectators, but once you get the hang of these moves, it's really not too bad to perform, and it will definitely amaze all of your spectators. It will fool everyone, so let's learn how to do it. All you're going to need for this trick is a deck of cards and some double-sided tape. Unfortunately, there is a little gimmick you have to create, but it's really easy as long as you have some double-sided tape. So you're just going to take out a card from the deck. For the tutorial here, we'll go ahead and use the Jack of Clubs. In the performance, I use the King of Spades. I like to use a face card because this card is ultimately going to be that helper card in the trick. It can be also a joker if you want to. It really doesn't matter. So you're going to take out this card, and here's your setup. You're going to take some double-sided tape. You're going to take off a little strip, about an inch or so, maybe a little bit more than an inch. You're just going to take it off, and you're going to put it on either edge of the card. I'll just put it on the right edge here like this. Put it on the back, and then you're ready to go. If you want to be safe, guys, you can put a little bit more double-sided tape on. You can put like another strip here. I'll explain why later in the trick, but just one inch strip put on either side of the card on the back will suffice. And also, as you guys can see here, if I kind of put the card in direct light, you might have saw in that tutorial just a little bit earlier, maybe kind of like right there, you can kind of see that the double-sided tape does show a little bit if it is on direct light. Maybe in the performance you guys caught it just a little bit. I tried to kind of cover it up the best I could, but just keep that in mind. If you are performing with lights directly on you while you're performing this trick, you may accidentally flash the double-sided tape like there. So be conscious of that. Just be aware, maybe performing this in a low light environment could be a little bit better. But at this point, guys, with your double-sided tape on the card, this card goes on the top, you're ready to go. So you have your spectator choose a card. You can start off, you do a riffle shuffle, keep that card on the top. There is no setup unless, only that card on the top there. This is the only setup. You have your spectator choose a card. They have a free selection. Just make sure they don't choose that top card. Now, at this point, you're just going to have your spectator look at the card. You do not need to see it. I recommend, don't looking at it. It makes for a lot better effect. But for the tutorial here, we'll go ahead and turn it over. In this case, it would be 4 of clubs. Now, here's what you need to do. You need to get this card to the bottom of the deck, and you need to keep the card with double-sided tape, your setup card, on top. Here's what you need to do. So you're going to go ahead and put the card in. You're going to come over with your thumb. Instead of pushing down like usual, you're going to want to come over, pull up a little bit, and get a break like this. So now this card is on the bottom of this top packet. At this point, you're going to split the deck like this in half, roughly. You're going to kind of cut up the top portion of cards, and now you have 3 different portions here. And this middle portion, the card on the bottom is their selection. All you need to do is take the bottom most portion, guys. You're just going to put that right in the middle there, like that. Say you're just going to cut the cards a little bit, and boom, you have kept your setup card on top of the deck, and their selection is now on the bottom. One more time here, guys. This move's quite easy. You open up about half the deck, put the card in, push up, get your break. Now you split this into 3 piles. Take the bottommost portion. You can just kind of mix it up like this. Take a couple, split that bottom portion into a couple as you're cutting it. But regardless, you need to take all the cards from that break there, put them in the middle, and you've just brought their selection to the bottom. And at this point, you're ready to move on. You can do a quick riffle shuffle as well. Tell your spectator you're mixing up the cards even more. Keep their card on the bottom. Keep the setup card on top, and you're ready to move on. Now, from here, you're going to tell your spectator you don't know what their card is, you don't know where it is in the deck, but you need some help. You're going to choose, your spectator is going to choose a helper card now. At this point, you just need to force this top card. You can do a slip force if you want to. You can do what I did in the performance, which is a riffle force. Swing cut about half the deck like this. You keep the bottom portion right on. Spectator call stop anywhere, wherever they call stop. You just lift up from the break, and you go ahead and put that card on the table. And at this point, guys, the card really won't stick to the table too bad as long as you don't set it down super hard. So just casually put it on. And at this point, keep watch of where their selection is. So if you did the riffle force there, what you can do is just bring this bottom portion to the bottom, like that. Now their selection's back on the bottom of the deck, and all you need to do is get their card now to the top. As you're talking to your spectator, you can just say, okay, we're going to mix up the deck a little bit, a little bit more from here. All you need to do is just overhand shuffle their card right to the top. So take about half the portion of the cards from the bottom, slide them off like that, and boom, you have just brought their card to the top of the deck. So that's really easy. And then you can also just do a riffle shuffle as well. Make it really convincing. Say, okay, we're going to really lose your card now. Just give the deck one more riffle shuffle. Keep the card on top. And at this point, you're ready to move on. So you're going to say, okay, the helper card is going to assist me in finding your selection. As you're saying that, put the card on. And here is basically the trick. And this is where the double-sided tape comes into play. You need to get the helper card with the double-sided tape to stick to the back of your spectator selection. So to do that, you're going to apply pressure here, kind of casually as you're talking. You're making small talk at this point. Apply pressure downwards with your thumb on both edges here of the jack in this case, because you need to get their selection to stick to the back of the card. So obviously that double-sided tape is going to do that. So you can just kind of apply a little bit of pressure with your thumb and 3 fingers. You're going to take off the 2 cards. Your spectator thinks it's only 1, and directly behind it is going to be their selection. So I would practice that, and with that 1-inch strip of double-sided tape, it will work, and the card will stick as long as you don't wear out the double-sided tape too much by doing a lot of practice runs with the performance. So at this point, the card is stuck. Your spectator thinks this is 1 card. You're going to tell them that you're going to try and find their selection in a little bit of an unusual way by doing this portal type thing. So the deck is going to act as the portal. You're going to toss the card through. So the first time you're going to pick up the double packet. Obviously, guys, don't turn it over. Keep it like this. You're just going to grip the deck grip the card like this, thumb, and then index and middle kind of behind it on that top corner. Just toss it through. You're going to say, wait, okay, nothing happened there. And then the second time, here's the move. Really, all you're doing is essentially just flipping the card over and then tossing it through. It's all going to be in one fluid motion. You guys are going to want to practice it, and I'll go ahead and break down the move right now pretty briefly. So as you're coming over the second time, you're going to lift up the deck with your other hand, your hand that's not holding the card, and you're going to kind of cover the move by this hand here. So essentially, you're going to be kind of flipping the card just like that over under the cover of your hand that's holding this top portion. And here's what's happening basically under the cover. You're going to be kind of using your middle finger here to flip it like that, and then you're going to be tossing it through. And honestly, guys, sometimes it may happen where that double-sided tape, because it's only on one side, it will kind of flop up a little bit, but it's really not going to be noticeable to your spectator. I'll get to that in just a second. So if you guys want to put 2 strips on your setup card, that works, and that will help prevent that from happening. Now back to the move here. After the first time you toss it through, oops, nothing happens. You go back, you pick it up. You're going to say, okay, we're going to try this again. Picking up the card here, you're turning over the card with your middle finger, just like that, under the cover, and then tossing it through. And if you do it kind of quickly like that, it really looks like the Jack of Clubs, your helper card turned into their selection out of thin air. It has a very powerful visual effect. And unfortunately, guys, you don't come off completely clean for this trick, obviously. So make sure your spectator doesn't come and grab the card or anything like that. You can casually just say, yep, here is your card. And if you want to, guys, you can put the card, your double packet here back on top of the deck. And if your double-sided tape isn't stuck too much, you can kind of fiddle around with it. I mean, at this point, it's really hard to kind of separate them like that. So you can try and like lift up the card and just kind of pull it off casually. It will make that little pop as you guys saw there. But if you do that move, you kind of play around with it, and then you can come off clean like that, and you will still have your setup card on top of the deck. Or if you want to, you can just, palm off your setup card in their selection once it's back to back after you do the move. You can just say, okay, yep, that is your selection casually. Move into your next trick. So guys, that is the card trick. I hope everything in this tutorial made sense. Really practice the move where you're doing the little flick there. Go ahead and rewatch the part of the tutorial I explained it to get the technique down, but overall it's not too bad. You just got to really kind of practice the turnover with your middle finger as you're putting it through, and play around with how much double-sided tape you need, because obviously it kind of wears off a little bit at this point. So remember guys, practice that move. Once you get it down, you'll be good to go. So that is the tutorial. Hope everything I explained made sense. Make sure to enter the giveaway. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in my next one. Peace out.